I'm sure there was somewhere we left off last time that I swore I was going to pick up on this time. But it is what it is. I'm sure there was something I was thinking we would pick up last time. It's been a few days. I can't remember. But what I've been thinking about is how I'm going to rebuild this channel as well as go forward with the Opportunity Forge channel. So, I keep telling myself, holy crap, like we're 45 seconds into this video already, and I'm planning on switching things up to a degree where we end up with a 1 minute long short review for all of the categories of stuff on this channel. And I don't know how I'm going to do that because we're past that point now already. So I will have had to be done with it already. I don't know how I'm going to manage that one, but I'm going to give it a try. So what I need to do is pick up the speed, get my pace going right, and I'm sort of building out this idea of how I want to structure the videos that I do for this channel. And so we did the talk about book reviews, movie reviews, and video game reviews are all going to be very similar in that their main structure is going to be the 1 minute review. And then the creative prompts inspired by them will be separate videos. And then the 1 minute review structure for those three, I think I have how I'm going to do them. I keep debating though whether or not it's worth doing an intro for them, like a opening credits kind of situation, or if I'm going to let the thumbnail do it for me. Because here's the thing, it's precious seconds at that point. A 1 minute video for a review, I feel like I'm going to do whatever minimal intro I'm going to do. And honestly, as I was thinking about it, like classic intros that stick in my brain, yeah, don't mind that. That's just the nature of being a stressed individual right now, I guess. But the intros that come into mind when I think about things like that are like, you may know Cowboy Bebop, you might not. Cowboy Bebop is a Japanese animation, and I'm already running at full speed here. Cowboy Bebop is a Japanese animation that has, to me, one of the most iconic opening credit sequences out there. And it's partly the music is amazing. I mean, anybody who's ever seen Cowboy Bebop will recognize immediately if you're wandering down a store aisle singing it to yourself. And it's not like a vocal song. It's, let's get everybody in the stuff together. Okay, 3, 2, 1, let's jam. Da 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 da. Literally, that's all you have to do, and it'll set anybody who knows it right on their feet. Because it's like, holy crap, I know that one. It sticks in my head like just, it's iconic. But the other thing about that opening sequence that they do on all the episodes of Cowboy Bebop is they have these little couple second flash silhouette animations. So it'll be an action scene focusing mainly on one of the characters of the series. And it's done completely blacked out silhouette action scene on a distinctly colored tile. So it might be Spike Spiegel revving the engine on his spacecraft. It might be Jet Black walking across the sidewalk in a noir detective style, and the backgrounds are going to be predominantly just blue or green or red, and so you get these outlined. It's almost like you could do it as shadow puppets at that point, and it looks like a shadow puppet with different background lighting situations. So you could put up if I were to do this, I need to chill out. I'm getting wound up. If I were to do this idea as a like an a video project, what you would do is put up a piece of parchment paper, set up some lights behind it with colored gels that you can shuffle through with a click of a button. And then you'd make your puppets, and you'd put them up against the parchment from the back, lit with the color behind them, and you'd put them through the motions of their bit, and then you'd shift out, next puppet, next bit, next puppet, next bit. And that would literally, like, you could shadow puppet up a Cowboy Bebop sequence. Now, could I do something like that as an opener for this channel for each of the episodes? So what I'm thinking is, instead of, it's always mainly me, but if we were to do that, instead of doing a shift from Spike Spiegel to Faye Valentine to Jet Black to Ein to Edward, like, instead of shifting between those characters and their spacecraft sometimes and things like that, it might be more conducive to do one for each type of content that we do. So books, movies, games, and more. And I feel like you could do a silhouette slide in of a book, a movie, a game, and that kinds of thing. Like, I could see doing that. But one of the other iconic opens that occurs to me, and maybe you'll catch this one. I'll give this a try. Ba-dum, ba-da-da-da-dum, ba-bum, ba-dum, ba-da-da-da-dum, ba-dum. I don't know why. Like, I literally have not heard that in 20 years. But I was sitting here thinking of iconic openers, and that popped into my head. Like, that, like, you don't, like, that is so iconic. Alfred Hitchcock Theater. And I tell you what, it's interesting to think that one also starts out with a line drawing of Alfred Hitchcock in profile, very kind of caricature style line drawing. But it's like the front half of him. And he walks in as a shadow to fill in that line drawing. And then the lights come up and he says, "Good evening." I feel like there's something in that. And there's a part of me feels like there's got to be a way to incorporate that idea together. I feel like we could probably do a 2 or 3 second intro jingle with a silhouette of me from the side, maybe, I don't know. Just like the front half of me with a colored background, color coded to the theme. So like books, movies, games, board games, video games, art, taste test products, and music would all have their own color coding. So that's 8 categories: red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple, white, and black, I guess. I'm trying to remember what I did for my channel art when we did the pixel art stuff for this one. I'd have to go back and look, because again, I lost all of that stuff when I had a hard drive crash, so I'm hesitant to remove it and fiddle with it too much. But actually, that brings to mind, if I do this kind of idea, it might be fun to come in from different sides. Well, maybe not. Like, maybe for branding purposes, it makes more sense to do a consistent side. But there's a part of me that was thinking, like, if we do this right, those silhouettes could be stacked like the silhouettes on Cowboy Bebop in their different colors with the markers for the type of content we're going to be doing. I don't know. I'll have to think about that. But yeah, I could conceivably start the videos off on this channel with a profile in silhouette and the colored background with maybe the image of the thing that we're going to be reviewing. I think that would be fun to do. And you could incorporate it both into the opener, just open from that and just slide into the review and then close out the video. This could be fun. This could be fun to try to do that with. And then, how would we do the, I don't know if the 60-second short videos can have a card at the end to intro you to another video in the sequence or not. But it would be dropping you into the playlist of our previous reviews or the playlist of our creative prompts inspired by. And then if you want the creative prompts inspired by this review, that would be subsequent videos, so you need to subscribe to get the notice of when they go up. And that's a workable setup, but the scripting out the structure I want to do these sorts of things with. The board game I think we really discussed once before, where it's going to be not so much a review to start with, but a 1-minute rule breakdown. And you could call it Minute to Win It. Well, no, I think that's probably a trademark name, but something to that effect, where it's like, we've got 1 minute, I'll tell you how to win it. And basically you spell out what qualifies as winning it, what can you do to get to that win scenario, and how long it takes, and things that can get in your way in the process. Boom. End of story for that first video. Then subsequent videos for those are going to be creative ideas inspired by that game that you can use to make new games with. Art is going to be similar, where it's going to be sort of a rave about an artist or artwork that you like, or I like, and then subsequent videos will be breakdowns and showing off things inspired by that. So I feel like what I'll probably end up doing for something like that would be a sort of intro to what I'm creating, set out things, then sort of photo montage, and then hit the end, show the result. And that really leaves, that covers mostly books, movies, video games, board games, art, the taste tests. I could do the taste test very similar to the artworks, where it would be a review of a taste test, and then subsequent creative prompt ideas would be literally here's the idea, here are the ingredients, here's the recipe card, boom, photo montage, boom, taste test of the finished product. Now, we're not going to do as many of the taste tests like that as we would potentially do for some of the art experiments. Products and music videos are going to be a different style of video. But let's step back into the video games are going to be very similar to the books and movies. And I've sort of decided at a certain point along the way, unconsciously, I think, that they are essentially the same kind of thing. that will come in with the intro. We'll do basically the whole shtick would essentially be the title of the thing you're doing, the tagline, the sort of movie announcer prompt, and then in some ways saying like, this is sort of like this work mixed with this work, only funnier, kind of review, and then number of stars I'd give it, and then check out my other reviews in this link, and check out the creative prompts inspired by those works over on this playlist. And if you want to see the creative ideas inspired by this video, subscribe down below to get notifications when they go up. And that's like, that has to be done in a minute, like a minute. But so that first, let's see. Okay, so for this one, this is Jim Butcher's Stormfront. This is the first of the Harry Dresden books. Okay, so it would be essentially something along the lines of, and maybe we could play this out as a dry run right now. So we're going to start on 16:30 seconds. It is something to the effect of, this is a review of Stormfront by Jim Butcher. And then it's tagline, lost items found, paranormal investigations, consulting, advice, reasonable rates, no love potions, endless purses, or other entertainment. Harry Dresden, wizard for hire. And then you can do the short version of, in a world where magic is real and monsters are your next door neighbor, you might need to hire yourself a private wizard. That is most of what you need to do right there. And then you say, this is literally if a private investigator, name a private investigator from a movie or a TV series, were Harry Potter or some other wizard. Gandalf was a private investigator in your neighborhood. I would give this, say, 4 stars out of 5. And if you're interested in seeing my creative prompts inspired by it, over here. So yes, that was a little ramble with no prep and no familiarity with doing it. We've just passed the 1 minute mark there. So that is doable as a review. I think that is probably the best format for doing the books, the movies, and the board games. Or no, not the video games, excuse me. Board games, something else. And then from there, the other format of what we do after that is, like I said, it's going to be, this is the and I was trying to think of the best way to title these. And I feel like naming the thing and then saying inspired prompts. And I think that was a format that I was using early on, and I found title-wise it didn't get me very far with posting the videos on YouTube. But I'm not like I said, I'm not super worried about that right now. I'm not looking to be like viral video content with what I'm doing here. So I do think that potentially like doing Harry Dresden inspired creative prompts, number 1, and then sort of giving a sort of a name to each of the prompts. So like if the first one's a character inspired by something in the story, I can title it character A. I might name the character or something like that. And that would be the title of it, because I want it to be sort of an inventory that I can go back through. And I think that makes it easier to, and I might actually literally just call it character prompt. If there's more than one character prompt I get from a book, then I might do character prompt A, character prompt B, and then setting prompt and things like that. I think that's probably the best way to do it. So, like, when we were doing the rewriting of story ideas for like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and that stuff, I did that live. These are going to be different. These are going to be done off camera. I'm going to come in and introduce the ideas to you in a 60-second video. And it's like the creative prompts is boom, 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 boom throughout the week. I might get one for every day. I might only get one or two during the course of the week and then switch to the next video that I put up. That's totally doable. And I think that's workable. Now, video games, like, I'm chunking them in with books and movies because the thing I'm most likely to be reviewing is the character, the setting, the story, and the involvement of the consumer in some way. So with a book, you're the reader. With a movie, you're the watcher. With a game, you're the player. How does it involve you as the player? Those would be the things that I discuss in the reviews. And then in the creative prompts, it's literally going to be, how do I imagine making a variant on those things? And so I really think that's a really solid formula for doing quick reviews and quick creative prompts to share with people. Now, that doesn't hold as well for products and music. The music, that's just going to be a reaction. I'm going to react to them, and that's that. And the products are going to be done as listings of coming up holidays. Here are my top 10 ideas for gifts for the holiday. And I will run down those ideas. And they won't be 60 seconds. They won't be a minute long. They will probably be longer than that. Probably at least 5 minutes minimum. 30 seconds per. Here are my top 10 ideas for Mother's Day gifts. And each one gets 20 to 30 seconds apiece. That would be a 5-minute video. Right? Yeah, you can't really. Look, I'm not going to say you can't do it in 60 seconds. You shouldn't do it in 60 seconds. All right, so the music videos they're just going to be a reaction to the full-length video, but I will probably only do those seasonally. I don't know when the best time to do them would be seasonally yet. But the big focus is going to be on the books, movies, video games, board games, art, and maybe taste tests on occasion too. Like, I think we do pretty good with the first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. Taste tests we'll get to when we get to, I guess. I got a bunch of them already done but are done in a different format, so I may just scrap them all and start from scratch on a lot of them. Or I might be able to edit them down into that 60-second format. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how that goes. That would be funny to take some of those older videos and just chop them into bits that can fit together in 60 seconds. That would be an editing challenge because they are not clean enough to do that with right now. Yeah, so that's really what I'm thinking of for the inspired content. Whew, that heater kicked on about 10 minutes ago, and it's still going. And it's blowing out enough heat in here to make me sweat. The other channel that we're working on, Opportunity Forge. We're coming up real quick on the start date, which I believe, if I remember correctly, the way I set it up, we were going to do that. Okay, I said open it. Open it. There we go. Opportunity Forge. Start the channel on April 7th. It's weird to think that we're doing it on the 7th to start it with, but there are a couple reasons to do that. One of them is you don't want to start any project you want taken seriously on April Fool's Day. That's just not the time to do it. But the second reason to do it then is everything not everything. Most of the things I've planned on doing for that channel are on the 0 to 60 model. 0 to 60 weeks starting on April 7th gets us to June 1st. So that gets us a nice round stopping point. So if I start on the 7th, that gets us to June 1st, 2022 as 60 weeks of the channel. And then from there, on the 27th, 20 days later, we start the 60 weeks of monthly challenges planning. So the first one's going to be May, June, July. So May is making a photographic project. As it stands right now, the project I'm going to do the first round out, because 60 weeks is a year and 2 months roughly. The first round out of May, because their project's built on a month. May 2021 will be one type of photographic project. May 2022 will be a different kind. And they will go all the way out to June 21st, 2022. And that is a game jam. And I can do a board game for one and a video game for the other, because that one happens twice too. And I think that's a really decent format. The struggle I'm looking at for that one right now is, again, how much of that do we do in 60-second videos? I feel like a lot of them are going to be, well, I don't know. I guess we won't really know until I give a couple dry runs of it. I don't think that channel is going to be all 60-second videos, because it doesn't seem feasible. The start of the channel should get a full, at least a few minute video as a here's the proposition, and that very first one needs to be about starting a YouTube channel from scratch. And proposing the steps we're going to take to get there. And that's predominantly the first one. Like, we're starting from scratch. Let's see where we can get. Ready, set, go. But it's going to be more of a, like, let's make this trip together kind of conversation approach. So it's not going to be like snappy, quick, 60-second soundbite, I don't think. Maybe I could do it. But then following that one, I need to do a what are the other types of content that's going up on this channel? So I will introduce those ideas in the intro video. But the intro video, no, see, which one do I do first is the real question. The first one that absolutely has to go up first, I think, is this is the first video on this channel. I am starting a YouTube from scratch, and we're going to see what it takes to get this one up and how far we can get in the next 60 weeks. And, sort of spell out what we're going to do for subscribers and what we're going to try to do for getting the channel off the ground. That has to be the first video because it has to be the 0 point. There are no videos before that, and there's no subscribers before that point. That is ground zero for building a YouTube channel. Then following that, I think I need to do what are the types of things we're going to do on this channel as a separate video. Now, whether or not that's the same thing as the channel trailer, I'm not sure yet. I think I'm probably going to end up doing that as the channel trailer. So discussing the fact that we're going to be learning things for 60 days. Maybe some of them are going to be 60 hours. That might be the better format. So it's like some of them are going to be 0 to 60 hours in doing a thing. And that, maybe that's an hour a day for 60 days. Some of those things are going to be things we try out for 60 days, like waking up every morning an hour earlier or some such thing. Those would be 60-day challenges. They'd be something that isn't about accumulating the hours behind those. They're about accumulating a pattern over 60 days of time to do a thing. And I mentioned that we're also looking at investing in entrepreneurship, 60-hour projects, 60-day projects, so on, and then monthly challenges, and sort of spell those out, like those are the things we're going to be doing. But don't go into heavy detail because I'm going to have to make a video kind of for how I'm going to do each of those in more detail. And for things like the investment in entrepreneur videos, the learning videos, those are going to be something that I'm going to do something different each time we do them. And so it's sort of like I should build a list of those things. And I have a couple lists of that kind of thing to do. And I build those lists and introduce those lists in the first video for them. So like learning videos that I'll be doing is I can say like, okay, my list of things I want to learn to do this year or in the next 60 weeks are juggling, fire breathing, so on and so forth, and have that posted up on the green screen behind me, the chroma key behind me, as I talk about the things I want to try to do. And that gives the opportunity for discussing with the audience which ones they're most interested in seeing next, so that I can they can help me arrange the list in the way that's most interesting to them. Now, they won't necessarily get that the exact next time we make a video, because if I'm going straight from trying to learn to ride a unicycle to sword swallowing and then to fire breathing, like they're all going to take a little time to learn to do those skills. So I am probably going to spread them out with some faster and quicker projects in between, but they get to set some degree of what are they most interested in seeing next. And comment below if you like that kind of thing I can do in videos where like comment below with the project you might think I need to add to the list. That's just there for fun, because like I have a massive list of things I want to learn to do, and I have a sort of a direction I want them to go for myself. And I imagine I will get that chance to set that pace for myself for at least a few months, because I don't imagine I'm going to have a large audience to have to cater to their interests and demands for a little while yet. So, starting out from ground zero, it'll take a little time. See, that's the thing, is like, for those kinds of things, I'm not, you will have to see those. They have to be recorded and shown off. That's the plan. I'm just not sure what the best format for showing that off in. Like, there's a part of me that feels like I could do a really quick, it's almost like a commercial in my mind, where you'll see me pop up on the screen, and I say something to the effect of, "Here we go, starting off project number 1, learning to juggle." And I will pick up my juggling things, show how horrible I am starting from ground zero, and then clip after clip after clip after clip, literally like 1 second clips of different points along the process of me learning, until we hit the 60-hour mark of that project. And then at the 60-hour mark, we're going to show me and how far I've come in that 60-hour project. And that has to all be sewn together into a 60-second video. So it's literally going to be a 1-minute video. So it's going to be editing tricks galore to make it work. So it's probably really going to be, I want to say, 5 minutes, or 5 seconds intro, 5-second outro, 5-second demonstrating the skill level I've reached. So 5, 10, so probably about 20 seconds on either end, or 10 seconds on either end, so 20 seconds total of the end pieces. And so we only really have, at that point, a little shy of 40 seconds for that middle category. So 40 seconds stitched together of flash, flash, flash of me dropping balls as I learn to juggle. And it has to be done at high speed, and it's just going to be like, it may be the failures are emphasized early on and the more successes are emphasized later on. But I think, like, what is it, 30 frames per second is the usual filming speed. 30 to 60 frames per second is the usual speeds that you record video at. And if that's the case, we're probably going to end up with literally like 1 to 1.5 second clips stitched together into a sequence of like 30 or 40 of them. Yeah, that's probably what we're going to end up with as those shorts. Now, the question comes to mind after that point, if that's what we're doing, is that all we do for each of those discussions, each of those topics? Or is that literally just the intro to them, and then a Q&A, sit down, more vlog style discussion of the process and things I learned in that, as a sort of a discussion, or like a 5-minute video to 10-minute video, depending on the project. Like, and you could do a few extra clips of the outtakes and bloopers, and didn't quite make it into the final cut of the 60-second shot. Like, I could see doing that. I just think that adds more time and labor to the process of doing each project. I feel like it's not as much as I'm making it out to be. Like, to do 2 videos for every project of learning I do isn't a huge ask. And then investing in entrepreneurship is going to be a little bit more along the lines of, we're starting from zero on this project. Here's what we're going to try to do. This is my understanding of it. I'll see you in the next video about this. And then the next video will literally be like when we've been doing it for 60 hours. And then the next video in the sequence will be when we've been doing it for 60 days. How has our understanding, what mistakes have we made, kind of thing. Those are going to be more like 1 minute update, in progress sort of videos. The monthly challenges, I think we could probably run them almost exactly like a commercial for this week, this month of project. So May would be the photo book project that we're working on. You just basically do a commercial for the month of working on a photo book. Ready, steady, go. And then through the month, you can do like follow-ups of like, how are we doing? Where are we going? Do we have any thoughts, things we've learned about it? And then like, they're just short 1 minute update videos about how things are going on that score. The YouTube channel video series really should be at that one's more of a intro video to start from. I feel like having the markers of 60 views, 60 subscribers, 60 days, 60 weeks, 60 videos, and 60 months. Now, 60 videos is likely to be encountered first. It's one of the first things we'll probably see. We're likely to see 60 videos up on that channel before we see 60 views total, and probably before we see 60 views on any given video. And so I feel like those marker points are easy enough to do as when we go up with the next YouTube channel from scratch video. The art career, launching an art career from 0 to 60 weeks of launching an art career. I mean, perhaps doing something along the lines of the YouTube channel approach to it. It would be, instead of 60 videos, 60 pieces of artwork. Instead of 60 views, you could probably do 60 views. Instead of subscribers, it would be 60 sales, 60 days, 60 weeks, 60 months of developing an art career. Like, those would be the update points along that chain, I think. I think that works. Does that make sense? I think that covers all of them too. But what would be the openers for that channel? Like, I don't even know that I would waste the time with an opener. I think maybe I would craft a piece of merch with the logo I designed for the channel on it, and start the shop with that in line, and then pull back, and it's me introducing what we're working on that given video. And like, we don't need to be more interesting than that, I don't think. Like, I think like a 1 second pull away. You might even start with a screen with just the logo and the title of the project on it, pulling it out to a Thus spake Zarathustra. Bum, 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 and then just start introducing what the project is, like right from there, and go at it. And that's minimal branding on it. That's all you would need. Get you started, and yeah, I feel like that would probably be well enough for that project. Now, as to other things that I want to be working on, it's like sometimes I feel like it'd be nice if I could have a robot following me around recording when I work on a project. The cinematography probably wouldn't be the best in the world, but it would be good enough. Because like one of the things I talked about last time, I think, is when we were talking about how I want to make a forge and forge some scrap stuff that helps me make better tools to forge better tools to get to a point where I can create all kinds of interesting things. And like, there's a part of me that I'm just not used to having anybody follow me around working on a project with a camera. And I'm probably going to have to be my own cinematographer for doing those kinds of projects. So, if that's the case, I have to set up all the cameras and all the equipment and get ready and plan all the shots before I start working on the project just to do a project. If I want to take a piece of scrap iron, hammer it into a key hook that you can hang on your wall by your light switch on the way in the door so you can hang your key when you get home. If I want to make that project is probably easy enough to kick on the forge that I build, heat up a piece of scrap iron, and hammer it with probably not much more than 20 hits of a hammer at most. Set it up, run a drill through the back end of it, screw it into a wall, you're good to go. You could probably do that in about 10 minutes max. But not if you're going to have to set up a camera rig and position the shots multiple times throughout the process to get the right shot of what you want to do. That's going to be such a pain in the ass. Like, it turns a 20-minute project into an hour and a half project, and then you have to come in and edit it. And I'm like, there's a part of me is like, I don't know that I'm suited for this. I don't know that I have the patience for that crap. But I do want to make stuff like that. It just means it makes it actual work and not me deciding to goof around when I feel like it. I think what I need to do before I do projects like that on camera for my channel is I need to go watch Laura Kampf. If you have not seen any of her work, and it's to be expected if my understanding is correct, she started out wanting to be a film major. And so she learned about cinematography and shot composition and things like that first. And then she got, well, I mean, to be fair, I imagine the rest of what she does was a hobby and a skill set she learned because she's skilled enough that she had to be tinkering well before she had the idea of taking that tinkering on to be a channel. So, the fact that it is fully built around ideas of being a skilled cinematographer and a skilled storyteller through visuals. Because a lot of her stuff does not have words for the build project. And that's like to tell captivating stories without words. She's really skilled at it. And I need to take a look at what she does. I'm not going to parrot it exactly. I'm going to give it my own branding and my own run on things. But if there was anybody out there, I would say is sort of my role model, well, if you, and like, there are others out there that have some very unique and interesting styles, and some of them are very interesting. I think the thing I like about Laura Kampf's videos is that they're almost like a music video. They just have that sort of like, they have that sort of feel to them where they're very artsy in the way they portray the work that she's tinkering on. I mean, if you looked up like a one of her projects, I think you'd see what I mean. It's just sort of like the music plays well with what's going on, the shots angle changes, the timing of cuts and moves from one scene to another. Like, that's a skilled artisan, not only in the crafts that she's done, but in the way she composes the presentation of the project. And I was like, I'm never going to be that, and I don't want to necessarily be that. Like, the world has her already. They don't need somebody following on her coattails. But to get ideas inspired by the way she does what she does and figure out how I can relate to my own creativity in a way that is informed by her skill with what she does in the cinematography aspect, then I think I would be richer in skill for having learned from her example. Now, my modus operandi on this channel oftentimes is to take a couple different sources and pull out the pieces and bits that I like from each of them, stitch them together into a Frankenstein's monster, see what that looks like when it comes out, and then rewrite those things in a way that makes a smooth, uniform thing that belongs to itself. I said that's a horrible way to narrate that kind of concept, but basically, you take a thing, you disassemble it into its constituent parts. You take another thing, you disassemble it into its constituent parts. You take the parts from both of them that you like best, and you put them together to find out how you could put together something with all your favorite parts. And then you find a way to build a whole new one that is using those kinds of ideas, but the parts are built for each other. So an example of something like that you would think about is like, well, I like the drivetrain of this vehicle, like for these reasons. I like the motor of the vehicle for these reasons. I like the body for these reasons. And the trimmings, like the dashboard, the steering wheel, the radio, those aspects for other reasons. You could take all those parts from different vehicles, slap them together, and it would be the most horrendously monstrous vehicle you've ever seen put together. But you have a sense of how all those things could work together for a finished product. And then you go about the process of fabricating the parts you need to make sure everything fits together and works together. And I was like, that's sort of what I have to do for the formats and stylings that people do for YouTube videos to really find what I'm looking for. Laura Kampf, yes. She's a German-based YouTuber. And have you not seen any of her stuff before, or do you know her stuff? I feel like it's so hard to tell whether or not somebody's well known, because as soon as you start watching their videos, like, their circle of fellow community members start to pop up in your recommendations. You just assume that it is a well-known YouTuber, but it's only well-known because you watch other things similar to that. Let's see if I can find her. Kampf. Okay. I don't speak German, so I'm really bad at spelling that stuff. Laura Kampf. Kampf. And let's, hopefully it doesn't start speaking to you from popping up one of her videos. So let's pull up her channel. And she's got really good content. Like, and you can see it in her videos. I don't know if you can see it. Oh, you've never seen it? Oh, you're in for a wonderful exploration. You're going down a rabbit hole of wonder. Maybe she's not your style. Maybe I'm overselling her. But yeah, that's the camper remodel that she recently did, I think, is one of her projects. But yeah, I would say if you go into her video list, she recently copper plated a gas tank for a motorcycle that she's rebuilding. She did a couple rounds with that one. I think she did a recent one with a new technique, turn steel into copper, simple DIY copper plating, which is cool. There's a previous one where she was doing that partly as a gimmick. She was copper plating using a tampon to do it, which is sort of funny. A butterfly knife style wood chisel that she did. But some of that is a little more fun, like exploration of new techniques and new things to play with. What I would say, if you really want to see some of the really good stuff she did, I'm going to see if I can find one of the older ones that is like one of the first ones that really sold me on her skills as a videographer. Oh, I didn't know she forged a Damascus blade for her Leatherman tool. I'll have to go back. I must have missed that one. Let's see. Wow, she's been busy when I've not been able to access the internet. Okay, an old suitcase turned into a boombox. I'm trying to find, like, her homepage has, let's see, uploads popular videos. Mini table workbench. There we go. It's in her popular uploads. It's one of the first ones I really kind of learned to appreciate some of her cinematography style. She's worked with Adam Savage a few times on Tested. And she's worked with Simone Yates, who does the Queen of Shitty Robots, is what she likes to be known as. So, yeah, this is, I feel like, a really good example of how to do visual storytelling to music with skilled cinematography. So this one, I think, is the one that I would recommend most. I don't know if you can see the link that I just posted in the chat off to the side. I know sometimes YouTube fights us on that. But that one is a video of a skilled cinematographer and a skilled craftsperson stitching those skills together in a beautiful presentation. Okay, cool. So I think anywhere other than that is probably a good, that's we're not going to get anywhere else that's going to get more interesting than that tonight. So I will leave you to discover Laura Kampf tonight. It's good time to call it here. We're pretty much at an hour of me rambling. So good time to walk out. Enjoy Laura Kampf. And thank you for joining me again tonight. Until next time, which is, I think, Thursday. I'm losing track of my days. But take care and good night.